Hello everyone, happy Thursday! I thought we'd do a little bit of coffee talk. Actually, it's Diet Coke today. And catch up on our friend, Chantal Marie, Foodie Beauty, Big Beautiful Me. It is coffee and a cigarette today because it's been an interesting couple of days. I'll try to keep it to a minimum for those of you who may be allergic. Um, so she was pretty active this week, actually, in posting. I've got 5 videos since the last time we checked in. I usually check in with you guys on a Friday, but there was sort of a natural stopping point that came up, so I thought I would dive in and just do it today. Now, as far as her content, she actually did a couple things I like and that I had thought might be good for the channel, staying towards some neutral topics. Now, the last time we left off with her, she did a full face of makeup from e.l.f., this line that she got in the mail. And it was cheap makeup, but she spoke very highly of it. And I think Chantal puts on a good face of makeup. So I'm going to leave her there with that. The next box was a Kinder beauty box. And it says May 2019. We're in June, right? So stock or, I don't know. It looks like the same freaking makeup that she has on in this one as in the other one. But she didn't really have too much to say about it. She said it's vegan, cruelty-free, but she reiterated, anytime she says the word vegan now, she reiterates that she's not vegan. Good for her. Don't mislead anybody. Or don't be so obvious about it anyway. She looks good in the thing. Her hair looks good. Her makeup looks good. I have to say this, and this is probably one of the 2 or 3 petty things I'm going to say. These eyelashes she had on. And this is on some gay shit, I know. It looked like she tuned up a drag queen and ripped them off. I mean, they were like this. Now, her choices, her life, I wouldn't want to be told how to look. I'm in no position to tell her. Some people really dig that. If she's happy with the way that looks, that's great for her. It's just not a personal choice of mine. I have pretty long eyelashes for a guy. It got me a lot of free drinks in my, late teens, early 20s. But those falsies were just so distracting to me. She looked like a rabbit or something. So, but that aside, again, a nice neutral topic video. Just an unboxing, nothing too flashy. Let's take a look at the view count, though. The view count was 7,000. Not too impressive for a video that's been out that long. Next video, she goes out into nature with Pete's, and they're going to go get some exercise. 18,000 views. More than double what she got for the makeup, so she's no idiot. She sees what's happening. She checks in very briefly about the goals that were set by her treatment team about only grocery shopping once a week, which she said she did. Again, going back to previous videos, everything Chantal says she does is kind of grain of salt, and time will tell, because she's committed to things before and presented that she's done them, and then come back later and said she wasn't. Somehow that gets misconstrued as not actually lying in her mind sometimes, but when you say you're doing one thing and you do another, even if it's not meant to be malicious, you're still deceiving people. So, at any rate, this is what she's saying she's doing. What else did she say she was doing? This challenge she's doing, like, with exercise. Oh, by the way, she had a full face of makeup on for this, and she referenced the first video. So part of me thinks she just filmed 3-4 things in one day. So I'm not really, I'm not really feeling that. They get to this park, and she's gonna walk, and she's with Pete's, who I happen to like, and they walk for all of a minute, and then stop because the park's closed. Then they stop and look at some horses from the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. I like horses, but they're just kind of strolling along the fence and talking whatever. And then I guess they find a new park and a new trail. And, it's pretty. I gotta say, wherever she goes, it's very scenic outside of, I guess, Ottawa. It looks like a nice spot. Now, she says she needs to take breaks all the time. I'm not gonna knock her for that. She's almost 400 pounds, assuming she's being honest about her weight. I would need to take breaks too. I was almost 300 pounds, and walking around, I would have been more comfortable taking breaks. I don't know that I would have needed to. I'm not sure if it's a matter of hyperventilation, heat stroke, or just discomfort that's making her want to. If it's discomfort, keep it moving. If it's pain, that's different. Or if she's so winded she thinks she might fall out, that's different. But whatever, that's her journey. Let's see. So she goes to sit on this bench. Okay. I don't think I realized how short Chantal actually was. Um, she must be like 5'1", because carrying upwards of 400 pounds when you're that short gives you an interesting body shape. I'm talking so in circles right now. She sat on a stool and her feet were dangling, and it looked different. It didn't look like how most people look when they sit in a bench. Glean from that what you may, okay? So she talked about her clots. She gave us an update a little bit. She said she's back on her Lexapro, which was helping. She said that she thinks when she had to go to the psych emerge before, she was in between 2 different medications, and that can cause suicidal ideation, and she's right, that can happen. She said she's on a med now that she had been on previously, and it was cleared through the doctors that she's seeing, the medical team, between the people who deal with the clots and the psych people and whoever. So she says that's helpful. She said she feels better on the blood thinners, but it's giving her nosebleeds and some chest pains and shortness of breath, so I guess that's better. But I guess cost benefit, you know, whatever. So, next, it's a weight loss journey and vlog, exercise, and grocery haul. She really packed it in. Now, again, on some petty shit, she's wearing these glasses like Elton John. They are so ugly. People like them. I'm out of the loop. I mean, I still wear like band t-shirts and cut off cargo shorts, so I'm not the person to ask. But I don't find them to be flattering on her. Again, fashion choices are so individual, but she's not an unattractive woman. I've seen her in other more flattering things. I don't know. I'm not just knocking it across the board. I don't think they look good on Elton John either. That's, you know, that's just a matter of preference, I suppose. Now off some petty shit. She decides she's going to go for a walk 30 minutes a day, 5 times a week. I have doubts, personally, that a medical professional told her to work out that much, actually, for her size. Or at least didn't say to walk uphill 5 times a week for 30 minutes. It's a lot of activity. Even the American Heart Association, I don't think, puts the cap that high on activity. I think theirs is like 3 times a week, 30 minutes at a time, something like that. So that's a bit of a lofty goal, and I'd be curious to know who gave her that direction to do it. She does an uphill walk, and she's out of breath. She's saying all the right things as she's doing this walk. You know, all the right stuff about emotionally overeating, the stuff about, like, stuff she's learned in treatment, about herself. Like, it all sounds very good. It sounds better than her other stories. Like, when everything sounded good with the grape lemon fast, I will mention that every video from here on out, because it just seemed like, how could anyone be so stupid? Not her, the person who wrote the book or came up with the diet. Well, I think they were depending on the naivete, am I pronouncing that right, of others, to conclude that grapes and lemons were going to fix shit. So, anyway, that gets me like so off track. So, she took this walk uphill, which she had to stop, and if I was 400 pounds, I would have stopped too. I can appreciate that when you're big, it's harder to do things. I don't know if you can imagine it if you've been a slim person, or not even slim, if you've been a fit person and been bigger. But she's not immobile, but I mean, if she's going from sitting at home to sitting in the car to driving place to place, you're not doing a whole lot of walking. So, you know, I could see getting winded at that weight doing that. I would have too. So, she talks about pain that she has when she gets back to the car, how she feels like she's going to throw up. She talks about how her back hurts, all sorts of other stuff. And during the walk, she mentioned that she has plans to go berry picking, I think. No, during the grocery haul. Excuse me. That was what she did next. So we cut from the beginning to then she's walking uphill, panting, and then she checks in the car, and then we go to the grocery haul. She got mostly produce. Pretty much nothing else. A lot of lettuce, cucumbers, strawberries. When she presents the strawberries, she says, I might go strawberry picking, I think she said with her mother. It was a family member. Now, I don't know if y'all have ever picked strawberries before. The last time I think I did it, I was 13, okay? And I was a fat kid, and I was mostly stomach and chest, so most of my weight was in the front. Strawberries don't grow yay high. I'm 6 feet tall. I don't think they grow at eye level, at least the last time I went. They were pretty low to the ground, and it was backbreaking, to anyone who does that labor, bravo, for the rest of us. Because I was bent over yanking these things, they were only like a foot off the ground. If walking is taking the wind out of her, I'm not optimistic that berry picking, however fun it is or how fun it sounds, is going to happen. Again, the weight getting in the way of doing the things you want to do, spending time with loved ones, doing activities. I mean, anyone who's overweight knows that it takes away parts of your life. But, heads up. You might want to see a chiropractor before you go, just to make sure all your shit's in order, because it's going to hurt. It would hurt anybody bent over that long. Berry picking's not easy work. And then she breaks out a pie. Now, this pie apparently bothered her a lot. She got a mixed berry rhubarb pie because she's allowed to have a dessert with her dinner. So she's having 3 meals plus a dessert, and she said she's mostly been having fruit. But she wanted something different. She was craving a chocolate vegan whatever, and again reiterated she is not vegan. She's going to be so defensive about that from now on. But given the amount of shit she got for it, and rightfully so, honestly, I think she earned that bit of shit. She's going to keep saying it. Whatever. That's okay. So she breaks out this pie, and apparently all hell must have broke loose somewhere. No, pie is not diet food. Portioned pie? Could be. With a history of binge eating, is buying a whole pie ideal? Probably not. I go to Walmart, and I get those little Patti LaBelle sweet potato pies. They make single-serve ones. 250 calories. They're fantastic, and it's Patti LaBelle. I don't go buy a whole pie, but that's her journey. That's what she does, and that's what I do. But given that I'm the kind of person who'd finish a whole damn pie too, and you don't feel guilty till the last bite, well, you might start feel guilty in the middle, and then eat the rest so you stop feeling guilty. But maybe not advisable? Nothing wrong with having a dessert if your nutritionist says it's fine, but I don't know if they meant keep a ton of desserts in the house. So again, apparently the pie kicked up a dirt storm of crap. So going forward, health updates doing not so great. After talking in circles a little bit about how she had her Lexapro changed before, and now she's feeling kind of numb, kind of dizzy, kind of out of it, and she's taking trazodone for sleep. I took trazodone when I was in jail. It's an old school med, just to help me sleep. And I took the same dose she took. Bodies are different, but it barely helps you sleep. So if she's not sleeping at night, I believe her. It's probably something going on. She called the thrombosis doctor because she was having chest pain and tightness and stuff the day she exercised. They said if it gets worse, go to the ER. She says otherwise it's fine. Again, forget the berry picking. It's probably not going to happen. She said that now because her back hurts from walking, she's going to request some x-rays and some imaging. And then after talking for a while, it came down to she binged. She got on the scale, and she didn't get on the scale at the doctor's office where she was weighed. She got on the scale at home. And I guess her weight at the doctor's office was 371, and she had lost like 2 pounds, and it had been a week or so. And that triggered her. I think it kicked off, she said, maybe something like the fuckets or whatever. And then she went and she ate pizza and poutine. So, my suspicion, the binge, was going to happen regardless of whether she got on the scale or not. What she needed was a reason, a trigger, somewhere. It's not calculated. I don't think she's doing this on purpose. Again, I'm a benefit of the doubt sucker who gives people 1,000 chances. So, I'd be a terrible enabler. If you were living with me, I'd be bringing you the vodka. You'd be an alcoholic even if you weren't one, because I'd be helping you along the way. So, that said, I think she just didn't realize what was going on. The urge to binge was there. It was just looking for something to kick it off. If it wasn't the scale, it would have been a comment she read. If it wasn't a comment she read, it would have been an article she had seen or a book she's been reading. Something. That binge was going to happen that day anyway. It just needed a reason, an excuse, something. There's a fine line between triggers and excuses. You know, that's not talked about very much, but there's a fine line between this triggered me to do something, and I did this because I wanted to anyway, but here's why. So, it's a calculated move, and she's not a stupid woman. So, um, you know, what I would have to say to her after the binge, she's engaged in treatment. Binges happen, you know. Well, I was in treatment, relapses happen. It's not a relapse, it's like more of a slip if. The question is, what did you do the next day? What did you do right after the binge? Did you get back in the wagon and have your 600-calorie breakfast and then your lunch and dinner and your small dessert? Or was it just, F it, I'll just binge now till I see the doctor again? Like, did you do, in 12-step circles, they'll call it the next right thing. Like, did you do the next right thing? Yeah, you screwed up, but what would be the next appropriate thing to do? Get back in the saddle and keep on with the program? Or just say, screw it, go to the doctor, because you already messed up, so why not mess up every day until that appointment? That's going to show commitment. That'll show where the priorities are and where the commitment is. We already know there's a disease, a disorder, a lack of self-control, whatever it is. We already know that you're reporting that you're in treatment for it, and that's a good thing, and that something happened. So what's your commitment to treatment and to getting better? We're going to find out, I guess. We can't ask you because you've deleted and disabled comments again. And again, I think pie bothered people because the last video, oh, she discussed weight loss surgery at the end of that one too. I think that's not going to happen. The last video is 14 seconds long and she holds up the pie and half of it's gone and she said BB ate most of it. I can't imagine being so upset about a pie that I would film 14 seconds of it with an attitude. But who knows what she had been getting as feedback. Again, I'm a smaller channel, so I don't usually have to think about bad feedback too much. I don't know what it's like to have 50,000 subscribers or 120. I'm not Chantal or Amber Lynn or any of the bigger reaction channels even. I mean, if somebody had asked actually in the comments, would I review Amber Lynn or Life by Jen? If I was going to review Amber Lynn, I'd have to... Boo! Sorry about that hiccup. I had some technical difficulties. Maybe it's the heat. Maybe it's the Diet Coke. So anyway, if I was going to review Amber Lynn or Life by Jen or the Slaytons or whoever, you know, other people react to, we couldn't have any other content, especially with like Amber Lynn. There's a lot going on there. I'm not entirely unfamiliar with her channel. But I don't have the same interest in her because Chantal kind of tries to do stuff to deal with her weight, and I see more of myself in Chantal than I do in Amber Lynn. I don't know if that's a good, bad, or indifferent. I just do. I see, like, traces of addict behavior in Chantal, and, like, the worst parts of her remind me of me when I'm at my worst. It's unfortunate I had a friend who's been sober a long time who relapsed recently. Now, I'll be fair with you, he was no picnic when he was sober. We didn't click. But now that he's out back and doing whatever, boy is he obnoxious. Oh, obnoxious and self-centered. So, you know, at her worst, she reminds me of me again at my worst. So to that extent, I have sympathy for her. Now, I will also say, the best I see her is when she's not talking about anything too personal. I like her best when she's doing makeup or cooking. But, like I said before, video like that gets 7,000 views. These other ones about weight loss, 18, 16, 14. The pie video alone got 12,000 views. So she's seeing what people want to see and putting it out there. So, I mean, she's not naive in that way. Something else that got stuck in my head, and this will be my last point, and this has not much to do exactly with Chantal, though it sort of does. She had put out, I believe it was on Instagram, maybe on her community page before everything got disabled, that she's coming for people for copyright, bullying, harassment, whatever. And there's strikes going this way and that way. I watch a lot of people who get reacted to, I guess, and I watch reaction or review channels. I would say what I do is probably more of a review, if anything. I mean, I don't have the box over here where I'm watching it like this and reacting to it. I'm just kind of talking about it. Not like, you know, Zachary Michael or Michael B. Petty or Justine, Kicking Geese or anybody else like that. They do a much different thing. than I do, and their channels are more devoted just to reactions. You know, this is a very small part of what we do on SmokeySteveAndMarc. You know, Mark and I have other interests. This is one interest of mine, so it gets like a day a week. But the back and forth of, they said this about me, they're using this. You know how many reaction channels are out there? I think when someone goes for the copyright strike, because somebody, and there's the fair use thing, but we'll skip that, you know, because I don't think copyright strikes are going anywhere. She tried this with Zachary Michael and it didn't go anywhere, and rightfully so. I don't think he's doing anything wrong. Whether or not he's being cruel or not, or whether or not he's kind of funny, I'm, you know, not going to dip into. But, you know, it was the decision when it was evaluated that he wasn't doing anything wrong. Maybe his videos were demonetized for a little bit, but then I think it went back. So I don't think that's going to go anywhere. But I'm seeing it back and forth a lot of different ways. Like Amberlynn has done it, and Chantal does it, and then there was a small channel that came up, and Cynthia and Thomas Beaumont had done it as well, didn't want their content being used, and there was a strike. And people get, like, can we all just settle down a little bit? Like, I'll concede this much. I'm not a huge... Mark and I are not big YouTubers. You know, not that we don't enjoy it, we post every day, you know, and we like making videos. It's fun for us to do, and we like interacting with people who post, too. Or who don't have channels, or, you know, making content for the people that lurk, you know, the people that view, but that they don't comment. You know, I hope they like it, too. But we don't have 50,000 or 120,000 subscribers, so we don't usually get, like, nasty feedback randomly. You know, if we said something out of turn, or put up a video people didn't like, then yeah, we might have got some feedback, people that disagreed with us about something. Nobody usually comes for us too personally. Like I said, in my first ever video, which was so poorly filmed, it was like a what I ate today type video, almost. Somebody replied that I sounded like a fag. Well, duh, of course I do. And there were some other comments about Chantal saying I wasn't being hard enough on her, I was being too lenient. No, I'm not one to... I'm trying to assess rather than judge. And I succeed and fail at that probably back and forth about a dozen times in any given video about her. So I don't feel like I'm being bullying or harassing her, and there's nothing... I'm not using any of her footage or her videos in doing this. So I think I'm in the clear. I'm also not on her radar, I'm sure. The most she would probably come at me for is using her name to get views. But I want people to know who I'm talking about, so I'm going to do that. Because otherwise it would be like talking about who's interested. I want people who are interested in her and discussing her and have some feelings about it to watch and listen to what I think about it and see if we agree, disagree, or maybe have a conversation. And not even so much about her. A lot of the times the discussion is just about weight, or honesty, or addiction, or food addiction, and people might say a little bit of their story, and then And that makes for a good, I think for a good video and a good discussion underneath. Certainly people come in and take shots at her, but she's Chantal. People are going to do that. I mean, I can't imagine how many of that 50-some thousand people are just hate watching, but whatever. But as far as going back and forth, my 2 cents for whatever it's worth with that is, like, there's something, I've been referring to 12-step programs, I'm not even in one, but they have a rule. There's only one rule usually. I think it's Rule 62. And the bottom line is, don't take yourself so damn seriously. I kind of took into consideration when Mark and I started doing YouTube that when you put yourself out there, you open yourself up to being criticized or ridiculed. I mean, in order to be brave, you have to be kind of vulnerable. I saw like a TED Talk about that once. I thought it was a nice idea. You know, in order to put yourself out there, and people say you're so brave for being out there. I could never be on whatever like that. You've got to be kind of vulnerable and be willing to put yourself out there and to take whatever comes. So, no, I have not disabled comments yet. I don't think I would. I don't know that I would engage with someone who was really, you know, pissed off at me. But I also don't feel like I contribute to the situation in the way that some of the more thumbs down YouTubers might, like Chantal or Amberlynn or other people that are so interesting that people will dedicate their channels to doing reactions, and a number of videos that they react to are from those individual YouTubers. So that's, I mean, that wasn't really much. I just kind of talked in circles, but frankly, I just think people need to settle down. It's YouTube. It's, you know, it's not a hospital. Nobody, it's like, we're not doing dialysis here. We're making videos. Okay, let's just everybody settle down, okay? So that's all I have to say today for Coffee Talk. I have the air conditioner going, and I have it running in one room with a fan leading it into the next, and then another this way. So, hopefully it'll be cool in here soon. We're due for thunderstorms. They said maybe severe. We never used to get tornadoes in this part of the state, or in Pennsylvania, period, and now we get them here and there. So, we'll see. But thank you all for watching. Please subscribe. Give a thumbs up if you feel so inclined. You can follow Mark and I on Instagram at SmokeySteveAndMarc or on Facebook at SmokeySteveAndMarc. Leave comments, questions, slander, whatever you so are inclined to do. And I will catch up with y'all soon. Have a good Thursday. Bye.